Yeah, so actually, I just had to add this part to the video because um it's really important, and I didn't add it. I forgot to add it into the first take. So basically, I had a brain infection in October of 2021, and the brain infection was all my fault. And you might be saying like, how can he possibly blame himself for a brain infection? So I didn't take my HIV medication for 5 years, not because I was defiant, not because I didn't want to be compliant with like treatment, but because I was experiencing such severe side effects. Like I would vomit food often, and eventually I learned I had to stop taking it with food because there was a risk that it would come up. And if I had to assign a percentage, it was literally like 50-50. Like half the time I would vomit up food, and half the time I would be okay, but still nauseous. And that's actually why I was prescribed medical marijuana. It was actually for my nausea, nothing else. I know some people they're like for cancer, but my thing was like relatively mild, like nausea. So I think it's amazing that at least the healthcare system is starting to accept companies like Herbside Pickup, um, and like integrate that into our healthcare system. Like we treat patients, we don't treat customers. So, um, yeah, yeah. So basically, the reason I got the brain infection, it was meningitis, and meningitis is a bacteria that can cause like inflammatory reactions in the brain. And so I got brain swelling. For that, I was prescribed prednisone, which caused me to gain 25 pounds. And essentially, like, yeah, so the HIV predisposed my immune system to being more susceptible to the brain infection from the meningitis. And so by not taking the medication, I was risking myself for exposure, and the HIV actually becomes more infectious. So it's not just that your immune system is worn down, making you more prone to infection from any bacteria and any virus. But it's also it becomes more aggressive, like more terminal, and that's what AIDS is. AIDS is considered the more terminal form of the disease, the more chronic disease, the um, more aggressive form of the disease, and it's aggressive enough as is, right? But essentially, uh, yeah, I had to deal with side effects. I was like, I'd rather live than die. I'm not suicidal, and the will to live and the will to survive are greater than the will to die, um, or the fear of death. So there's that.